very much. We're now going to hear from Luisa Todini, President of Todini Finanziaria.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. I'm very honored to be here. Even yesterday night at the London Club was very interesting to meet the most of your friends. Someone is here. It was very nice to be there, and really interesting for me to try to represent a part of Italy, the entrepreneurial part of Italy. Mr. Barber introduced me as the president of Todini Finanziaria, which is my holding family, which I do share 100%, and we are involved in big infrastructures since decades. Now the part of the infrastructures family is the Todini Costruzioni is in Gruppo Salini, and now we do share, and we have the control of Impregilo company, which is the biggest construction company in Italy. We do work in 60 different countries in the world. We are now in these days very much on the proposition to make what we call the national championship in the infrastructure, to merge all together the Salini history, Impregilo and Todini, which is one of the goal of the so-called Monti agenda. So to give the tools to make Italian championship, national championship that could compete all over the world. It's not easy in Italy to face when sometimes I say that in Italy, if you try to do something which is which have a good common sense, not always easy to face with the institutional, but since we have the government held by Mr. Monti, maybe there is something easier. So we are really trying to be very much involved to do this. In some other business of my holding company, I do invest in the renewable energy, which is something that Italian companies are now facing a lot, investing a lot, and we do represent an excellence even in this kind of sector. And then I'm here, Mr. Barber, even with the head of Comitato Leonardo, Italian committee, which is a committee, an institutional committee participated by public and private, especially by private brands, which try to promote the Italian flag outside of Italy. So the member of our committee, we are 150, we do represent the main Italian brand from infrastructures, mechanical, of course, fashion, food and beverage, all the made in Italy, the so-called made in Italy. And we do represent the Italy which goes abroad, and which means the Italian flag abroad. Italian committee was born in 1993 by an idea from Senator Agnelli and Mr. Pininfarina to try to help Italian company to be bigger and bigger, especially outside of Italy. The total revenues of the turnover, you can go on, sorry, maybe with the second one. The total revenue is 300 billion euros, and our export part is 53%. So we do represent the most of the Italian brand. Well, the title of our conference today is Investing in a Better Future. So, as a private entrepreneur and as a representative, as I do chair this committee, and since 2 months ago I chaired even the European Construction Federation in Brussels, I always try to make a question to myself: what can I do to invest in a better future? What can I do as an entrepreneur, as a private citizen, as an entrepreneur, especially what can I do as I have the honor to be a part of this country, of Italy, which, if, as I was saying yesterday night, if we look at the newspaper, the Italian or international newspaper, sometimes I think that we have a distorted version of what's happening in Italy. We are represented as a country where we are always in political trouble, political changing, different things happens, and we have to face day by day with this kind of trouble and changing. First of all, when we are, as we are since long time, accustomed to face difficult moment and difficult changement, we are ready to face everything. And that's, we can even maybe express, because the Italian entrepreneur, sometimes are not so big to compete with other companies. If we do compare the size of our company with the Far East company, or with the Anglo-Saxon or American or Latin company. But we have, first of all, a kind of geniality in ourselves. That's why we call our committee Leonardo. And we have the habit to really face different changing. So we are very elastic, very flexible, I can say. We have the possibility and really the ability to adapt our kind of making business and making our company goes ahead in different situations. That's why I really think we have something specific, something particular that we do permit to create something important in our country, in different countries, whatever it is, Africa, Asia, or Latin America. In the Italian Committee Leonardo, we do represent this kind of flexibility, and we do represent how the so-called general made in Italy can be compete in different size, different sector, and different moment, especially in the crisis moment. Just yesterday I was reminded that 2 weeks ago I was hosted by my friend Nerio Alessandri, who is the inventor of the brand Technogym, which is a brand very famous and has been very famous last July because it was the sponsorship of the Olympic Games here in London. I think he sponsored the last 5 Olympic Games. This is a typical, he's very young because he's only 50, and the brand was born 25 years ago in a garage, as he was saying last 2 weeks. And in 25 years, he established a brand which represents the wellness in the world. We opened this so-called Wellness Valley, which is in a beautiful place in Italy, in Emilia-Romagna. Now if you go along the motorway, you see the exit Wellness Valley. Now it's a brand all over the world. This day was opened by our president, President of the Republic Napolitano, and closed by President Clinton, which is, who is since years very much involved in the wellness, in the healthcare, and so on. And I just want to say this because Nerio 2 weeks ago said these 2 years were the years of the most of the crisis, because of course he tried to sell the wellness, but he can, in a period of crisis, it's not so easy to convince people to buy such a particular tools that he produced and to invest on this. But he said in these 2 moments of crisis, we did invest the most of the last 25 years. So in the moment of crisis, the good entrepreneur is the one who invests in the research, in the innovation, and present to the world something different, something better. This is a typical case of what an Italian entrepreneur can do and can tell all over, not only in his town, his village, in his country, but we can tell all over the world. We have so many different cases, exceptional cases in Italy, especially in this moment of of crisis. I could do an incredible list of small, medium, or big cases, big business cases that are investing in really the passing, which is this moment of crisis. Italy is always pictured as a country which has a problem inside, but we have to remind that even in these 3 years of financial and then economical crisis, we are the country who has in Europe a low private debt, which do represent even our history. We have, of course, a public high debt, and finally, Mr. Monti, with the last meeting of the minister of this week, is starting to reduce really and to make something very, very strong and very deep to reduce this high debt with the new laws that are going out in Italy. But we have to remember that we have a strong family, strong company, because our private debt is low compared to the other country, which permits to our company and to the family to face the moment of crisis. So going on through the, you already went to the, which number is this? Sorry, to the mission of the, going back to the mission of the Italian Quality Committee. We do promote the Italian quality in the world, arranging and producing all the prestigious events and financial cultural topics. We give every year in the Leonardo Prize, we have a Leonardo Prize giving ceremony at Quirinale. We give an international prize from Leonardo to link Italy with different countries and different entrepreneurs. This year, for example, we are going to give an award to Mr. Mustafa Koch. I'm sure that you know him. He's one of the most important family in Turkey. They are investing a lot in Italy, and they are trying to make Italian entrepreneurs investing a lot in Turkey. Last year we have been awarded Mr. Barney Mittal, who is the president of the Italian and Indian Business Council. Then we gave an award to Zumli, who was the in China, who was the company who invested in Italy, remaining in Italy. Because the most important thing for Italy is to attract external investment and to stay in Italy, not to take the know-how and take away the know-how. Then we have been awarded the CEO of Sharp, Mr. Machida, when they did with Enel the big investment in Sicily for the production of the most important, of the largest laboratory to produce photovoltaic and thermal panels. So this is a very important link we do promote to make a link with Italian and international entrepreneur. We do work in the regional meeting to try to tell what happens in the different countries. For example, if you go on the next one, the next meeting will be on next November. 22 of November of the Green Lab Caracol. Caracol is an interesting Italian case of a new brand on the research and innovation and sustainability, and we are always hosted by our company, by the entrepreneur who participate in Italian Quality, because we want to enter in the fabrics, we want to enter in the site works, we want to tell what it happens and how they do invest and how they show with these investments. We can go on in there. According to the recent Conflict Industry research, we know that the demands for goods and emerging markets will increase about 48% by the end of 2017, and it will reach 136 billion euro. So how can we take advantage of these opportunities? Of course, it was saying even before this morning, diversifying brands and markets. Then we have to be flexible, but we said before, Italian entrepreneur has in their soul the capacity of being flexibility. We have to be quality driven, which is very important. We have to act through corporate networks, district, joint venture. This is not in our soul, I think. I think this is one of the points of weakness of Italian, because sometimes we are too much able to go only alone outside. We have to be more corporate. We have to work more in a network. We are famous in the world to have founded the district, the Italian industrial district. But then when we have to go abroad, sometimes we want to go alone, and we ask to the system, the so-called system, to help us only when we have trouble. We are not able to make it the right joint venture to face the new market. Then we have to understand and satisfy the needs of the new middle class consumer. We can say we have to think globally, but we have to act locally, which could be something opposite, but is what we have to do to face this new moment. And what is required? Deep knowledge of the main competitive advantages and weakness of the Italian products abroad. Then understanding of how foreign operators perceive our country and its products. Sometimes we don't have the knowledge of this, and it's very important, because the same product that 3 years ago was a good product, had a good mark, and could be not the same at this moment. So sometimes we are not so fast to understand how the brand and the product is changing. Turning present uncertainty into opportunity, of course. This is what every good entrepreneur should do. So we have to do this through new business initiative beyond the national and the European borders. This year we presented, last July, as every year we do, a survey. We make the point on the Made in Italy each year with the Italian committee. It has been carried out by Ipsos, which is one of the most important research institutes in Italy. And the aim was to investigate the perception to the main competitive drivers of the Italian product. We took 3 markets to face. We took the Brazilian market, the Russian market, and the Malaysian market. We made a focus on these 3 markets. The aim was to investigate the perception of the main competitive drivers of the Italian production, so the sector which is commonly associated with the Italian export, which is automation, design, fashion, and food, and then even the other sector. The projected GDP in this country, where we had the focus, the projected GDP growth for 2013 is about Brazil, almost 5%, more than 5%, Russian for 4%, and the Malaysian one close to 5%. So even in the present moment, we focus in 3 markets who are growing. In 2011, imports of goods reached 420 billion euro and expected to grow further. Altogether, we create a market of 366 million potential consumers, which is an enormous market with the typical made in Italy and new model of made in Italy. The high-income middle class is growing and is the one we have to intercept, and representing a huge source of the new consumer for our made in. Why the Malaysia? This was in Russia and Brazil, the first 2 markets. Then why we made a focus in Malaysia? Because Malaysia is a growing market, is a fast growing market, and you can intersect a lot of consumers for our Medina. It's an extremely dynamic market. It's got a strategic location in the heart of South Asia. The presence of Italian companies is too low, because we are still in the 19th place among the Malaysian foreign suppliers. Italy ranks only the 23rd amongst the foreign investors in Malaysia. So we have a big gap to cover. The relationship with Italy are very positive overall. An appreciation of Italy images and its importance from the historical, from the artistic and the cultural point of view is really big. And we have the positive characteristic that can be associated with Italians, which is the warmth, the creativity, the initiative. Sometimes we do forget this, the importance of these things. But as I am a person who are accustomed to go all over the world for institutional reason, for business reason, I really do feel and do understand the Italianity, the complexity of this word is something that which is really added value, still is an added value. About the positive aspect, what can we find in the survey? The Italy's ability to maintain a significant role in the world economy. Nevertheless, and despite of the crisis we face, political, financial, economical crisis, we do maintain a significant role in the world economy. The Italian products and brands that enhance the country's images and give the prestige of the country. To be in the EU, the membership of the EU is a very big added value. So when in the last months we have been faced, and we are still faced about the crisis of euro and the possibility that everything is going to disappear, is something that for an entrepreneur who comes from Italy and comes from the European Union, we really do understand it could be really a disaster from the possibility to intersect in the new market and to consolidate the market. I didn't know the news that the Nobel Prize was given to the European Union this day, but I do read this kind of news even with a very important political news, of course. I try to skip until the end because there could be so many things on the critical issues. Just to give a voice of the critical issue, because of course there are some critical issues. There is the combination of the economic crisis, as I said before, and the weakness and the political instability that we have to face. If you compare the most manufacturer country in Italy, the more important, which is Germany and Italy, of course, if you do compare the risk with Germany and Italy, there is no comment on that. We have too complexity on the bureaucracy and the administrative system, and we have a hierarchical system by on seniority. We are not so based on merit and effectiveness. So these are all the critical issues that we do know. Just keeping at the end, I just want to go on the image of the Made in Italy, of the non-traditional sector of Made in Italy is on the page 24, if you want. We have a lot we have a lot to say in the technological innovation. We have a high growth potential, but little known to foreign opinion leaders. Infrastructure and large-scale construction, and financial service and insurance. There are these three issues. We have a lot to say in these three issues. So the Made in Italy is not only the fashion, the design, and the technical, the mechanical, but we are investing a lot in the technological innovation, infrastructure, and even in financial service. We are still less competitive in the internet, in the new media, and unfortunately even in the environmental sustainability, even if I was saying before, we are investing a lot in the energy and renewable energy. So to conclude, the problems facing the Made in Italy are the cultural and the institutional factors, the structural elements, the limited financial and insurance support. This is still the problem, especially in this moment. The lack of adequate Italian financial infrastructure, excessive and fragmentation, the structuring of institutional bodies, whose role is to sustain the export of Italian products, and the complex of the bureaucracy and the political administrative system. We have to look ahead, of course. The Made in Italy have to look ahead. We have to bring together a system of, we can say, meta-entrepreneurship grouping of the small and medium enterprise. So we have to diversify supply so the middle market customers can buy the Made in Italy products. And we have to facilitate the non-traditional sector and to promote the new sector. We have the tools to do it. We have of course, the power and the possibility to do it. With this new government, which I'm quite sure, this is not the moment to talk about politics, but I'm quite sure that Mr. Monti will stay for a long while more in Italy. I don't know, as a premier or as a president, I don't know if he has got so many possibilities to something, but the Monti agenda is something which is positioning Italy in different position as it was before. So with this tool, with this possibility, I'm sure that Made in Italy can face the new possibility going ahead with what's in before. Thank you.